Animals is an album that gets a lot of love here at Indie Miners, and Pink Floyd have announced a Dolby Atmos edition to come out on the 17th of May. Now, the interesting, intriguing thing about that is that there has already been a 5.1 release of this album that got released in October, September in 2022. So we're maybe 18 months down the road. Very interesting about that. I've got some thoughts on that later, but in terms of what you'd expect to sort of see, it's going to be packaged in very sort of similar ways to the Blu-ray. So it's going to be on Blu-rays. It's going to be similar to these releases that have been released in the last 2 years. What you're going to see on the Blu-rays, there are going to be 4 editions. There's going to be the original stereo mix. There's going to be the 2018 remix in stereo, as well as 5.1, the one that everyone was really looking out for back 18 months ago. And last but not least, the Dolby Atmos edition. Now, this is all well and good. I think that it's great. I'm looking forward to listening to the Dolby Atmos edition. But one really does have to question, and I'm not sure if people are thinking about this right at the moment. I think it came to me as a surprise, but it's only been 18 months. And I think a lot of people have got their BS detectors on, to quite honest. I think that people are going, well, why the release then and why this release now? And you're marketing to a very, very similar cohort here. I think there has been a market for the Animals album on the surround sound format. I think that it's very well suited to the format. But the fact that the 5.1 release, it's surround sound, Dolby Atmos is obviously surround sound, why they couldn't have waited is very interesting, and it feels as if in a lot of ways the public are being played for. There's a little bit of an irony, isn't there, that the album itself does have the anti-capitalistic undertones, and they keep coming out with these releases. It's just a money-making exercise that it feels like. And to be perfectly honest, I think that it probably would have taken maybe 2 to 3 months. I would have expected for the Dolby Atmos to be produced. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be completely wrong about that. It could have waited. I think that it really could have waited. I think that there are other albums that probably need the Dolby Atmos mix more than Animals. I think Wish You Were Here. I'm very, very interested to hear what that'll sound like on Dolby Atmos. I think the 5.1 edition of Wish You Were Here was tremendous. I love listening to that. Why this album? Why at this time? And I'm a little bit confused as to what the reasoning for that is. Now, the other thing that I think is also interesting, that there wasn't necessarily the squabbles that we heard last time, which I know is a little bit to a side, but it feels as if we're not going to definitely get any liner notes with this particular edition. I guess I don't really care about that. But look, at the end of the day, I am going to be interested to hear what this is. Probably who they're marketing to will be probably likely to buy this edition again. As to how far that's going to go with the public, and I guess how many further editions we're going to expect of Animals in the future, I'm not sure. Look, I think that these new re-releases, there's certainly diminishing returns. You can hear the difference between the 1977 mix and the 2018 remix. But I think as time goes on, I think the technology has caught up with things, and I'm just not sure whether these remixes, these remasters are bringing anything more to the table, or too much more to the table, at least. Let me know. I might be the Lone Ranger in thinking that. But over the next few months, we will keep an eye on this, and I think that there will be people out there that I think it will be similar to me, scratching their head as to why they've announced this, and what the overall importance is. It's not as if it's an anniversary, right? Like we're talking about it being 43 years after it got released. It's not an anniversary, like a 50th anniversary. Not sure. I can't see this being one where the public might be necessarily fond of it. And that will be a shame, just because it might be something that will be ultimately spectacular. Potentially, we'll see. So let me know in the comments, and we'll keep an eye on developments there.